Hello, my name is Steve Catalano, and I'm going to show you today how to cut up pork butts to use them for sausage. This is my son Julian that's going to be taping us today. Alright, this is what we call the pork butt, or some people call it the Boston butt. Okay, this is located on the top shoulder of the pig. Alright, I don't know why they call it the butt, but it is a shoulder butt. Okay, so the shoulder butt is the top part. This would be where your shoulder blade is. If you were using anatomy from the human being, this is a shoulder blade right here. So many things can come from this, even though a lot of people don't use it for other than sausage. Okay, you could make pork cutlets out of this, pork stew, pork kebabs, brajol, all kinds of things. But primarily, this piece is used for sausage. Okay, what you're going to need is you're going to need a cutting board, of course, a boning knife, and a filleting knife. Okay, the filleting knife is usually to take the fat off the back. As you can see, this is the back part of the animal. This here is the shoulder, and then from here it connects to the arm bones or the humerus or whatever you want to call that as far as the anatomy goes. So what we'll do is we'll take this fat off the back. Okay. And yes, this part is a fatty piece, and as you know, you need the fat content in the sausage for it to be that good. Okay? So, give this a minute here, we can get this all trimmed out. Okay? And because this is in the shoulder, there's a gland in here too that has to come out. Okay? So, once we get the fat off, we'll start by trying to remove that bone that's there. Okay? There we go. Now you can take to your boning knife. Keep it sharp. A dull knife is what cuts you. Okay? Because you put too much force into a dull knife and you push too hard, and when you slip, that's when you get cut. Okay? If you work with a sharp knife, very little effort in there. Okay? Alright, so now this part is what they call that corner, and if you go down underneath this flap, you're going to find that gland. Okay? And as you can see, there it is. You could zoom into that and see exactly where it is. You want to get that gland out. This is right here. You cut into it to verify it, and then just pull it out. Okay? You don't want that into your sausage. Okay, so now that's free and clear. We got a lot of the fat off, and now we're going to start to bone it out. Alright, what we'll do is look for the knuckle part, which is right here. Okay, and just go against the bone. Alright, and what you're going to do is just use the tip of your knife and clean that all out. Alright, what you want to do, clean all this meat off here because of the fact this is sausage meat. Okay? And as I come out of this here and you see the end result of this bone, you'll easily identify as the shoulder blade. Okay? And as you can see it's right there. That's the top half of it. Okay? Come along this side of it. This side of it is shaped like a T. Okay? What you do is you grab the veil, what they call the veil, in the meat, so it takes it away from the bone. And again, just the tip of your knife, using to cut out the meat. Alright? I've been doing this for quite a while, so I know exactly the anatomy of the pig, so it's easier to aim my knife, and I'm used to maneuvering my knife around. So it's easier for me than it is for the lay person. And as you can see, there it is. Okay, this is the shoulder blade. Now once the shoulder blade is out, this thing becomes boneless. The shoulder butt is now boneless. So now a lot of people in the old school Italians used to keep this with a little bit more meat on it, throw it in the gravy, use it for a pork added piece for the gravy to make it taste good. Okay? Now this is the part, like I showed you last time, like I told you before, that could be used for the kebabs. Now, you could take it right from this point as you can see, this here bone was in here. You can take it right from here and you find another seam, as you could say, and now this is where you take it out. Okay, and there it is. You find the seam, you pull it out, and this is where a lot of the fat lies. You want to take some more of this fat and veil away. Okay, now this is a very good part because it's really lean. This is the actual pieces that were around this bone, and if you put it back, that's the way it was. Okay, so we take this piece out. This is actually the shoulder meat. Okay, if this was beef, this would be the flat. This would be the choice shoulder eye round, as they could say, and the chicken steak. All right, this is very lean other than what's around the outside. You take this off, control your fat in your sausage. This could be used for the kebabs. Okay, now as you come over here, you could discard this, which we're just taking off because I'm going to show you how to use this shoulder butt for pork cutlets. But again, this is good. We trim this up and we use this for the sausage. Now you go back to your filleting knife, okay, and as you can see, you're taking off this top layer of stuff, okay, which is also still meat, okay, and then you can see where the pork cutlets are. And if you know you want to eat pork cutlets, you want them nice and lean, and you want to make sure it's a solid piece. Okay, and there it is. This here is, people just use this here part for just the gravy. Again, the part that you would leave on the bone, you would also use this for gravy meat. Okay, very nice, very soft, falls apart when it's totally cooked. Very, very tasty. Okay, so I'm just going to show you right now. I am going to use this here for pork sausage, but if you did want to use this for pork cutlets, I'm showing you how to exactly go about it. All right, you use your cutlet knife and you're taking your cutlets off. All right, and these are very thin. You got to be careful with your hand. You have to be experienced with doing this because you could easily go through the cutlet. The cutlet is very thin, and you go through the cutlet, you know you're going to cut your hand. So you feel the texture of the meat, you feel your blade on the other side, and you just keep it at distance, and you try to keep that cutlet the same thickness all the way through, okay? And as you can see, these are fairly thin, all right? And you continue on this way, and I think if you cut them on the thin side, you could probably get something like maybe 8 to a dozen cutlets out of this. And as you can see, the fat's starting to come through on that, okay? So all you would do is just keep on going down more and more. And if I show you, if you were to use this for the pork for the gravy, again, you just cut it down and find the seam again, and there it is. And you just use that piece for your pork for gravy, okay? So added to that piece, and the cutlets that you took off is a fairly nice size, okay? So this here we're going to keep in the sausage again because this is adding the lean part of it. And then this here, okay, you just trim up the sides, that the fat that you don't want, clean it all up. And again, be careful with your knife and your fingers, as we call it in the butcher business, your digits. You don't want to lose that. Okay, and if you run across any veins like so, you want to take them out. You don't want no blood in your sausage. Okay, cut this down, and what you're going to do is probably like 1 inch to 2 inch pieces where you're going to be able to fit through your machine. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to chop this up through a chop meat machine on a coarse plate, and I'll explain that to you when we get to the machine. So there is your pork butt, which might have started out around let's say 9-10 pounds, okay, and you're going to wind up with maybe a pound and a half less. So you could see the fat that you have here and the bone, which is probably a pound and a half, possibly 2 pounds, worst case scenario, that you're going to lose out of this pork butt. So now this is ready for chopping for sausage. Okay, when we're ready with that, I'll be back. Stay tuned, and Julie and I will be right back. Thank you.